Well, good morning. A bit late on this morning, but just checking out the drone situation. What a remarkable situation it is. Oh, no, it's the other way. There's the fire this morning, brightly, and there's the Christmas tree in all its glory. Oh gosh, we're going to have problems, techie problems this morning. I can tell it's just one of those mornings. But there we are. We'll get back to some sort of normality, hopefully. Just tweak a couple of... There's to get some sort of... There we go. Well, that's how I go. You may think that it would be better to watch Father for Christmas. But nonetheless, at the moment he's busy, so he's not talking. And is there a lot to talk about this morning? With the muck in Parliament, it's gone on for so long. That who really anymore wants to hear about it as we approach Christmas? I certainly would look forward to a hiatus. But I hope that the boys behind the scenes are getting on with trying to make us a little bit better as a society and as a world, although I don't hold out much hope. Anyway, doom and gloom at Christmas? Not a bit of it, yes, unless you're at Gatwick Airport, where the drone situation has entered its third day. Nobody quite knows who is operating these drones. The guess is that they're eco warriors. But who knows, and why did they target Gatwick? There's some questions to be answered, and it'll be interesting to see what comes out over the next couple of days. I actually have a drone, and I haven't used it yet. It's not out of its packing. Perhaps over the holiday I'll just try to see how it's worked and how easy it is, or difficult as the case may be. But I'm sure that these people who are using drones and managing to avoid authority and stopping aircraft and flying them near to landing planes know exactly how to operate a drone. It's a certain skill, I suppose. It's not a skill I don't know whether I've got it or not. I mean, I have 400 hours as a pilot so many years ago that I think if I sat behind the wheel, the steering wheel, I was going to say, if I sat behind the controls of an aircraft now and you were in the other seat, the right-hand seat, if I was you, I would get out. I'm not sure that I could even get it off the ground, let alone get it back onto the ground. But it'd be interesting to see whether any of that skill, old skill, comes back when I try to fly the drone. But for the moment, there are thousands and thousands, some estimates of 350,000 people who are stuck or plan to go through Gatwick and can't get their flights because of these drones. And that it opens up all sorts of questions, of course, is how vulnerable then are our airports to attack, because we've made movies, we've made documentaries, and we've almost crowed about the way that we're able now to send in drones to seek out terrorists and how we do it, more or less. So the fact that somebody would want to perhaps play hardball and attack us in the same way isn't beyond reason. And my goodness me, that pulls another dimension into our every day of life. Something new seems to creep in every day, and I doubt that we've really got the leaders to help solve it. They wring their hands, they do a lot of talking. They're marvellous at talking. I've often said, and in fact, I was with some ambassadors yesterday for a short period of time, and I said that as far as politicians were concerned, I would never debate with them because they're so very good at debate, pretty useless at everything else. the 3 or 4 ambassadors and a couple of foreign office dignitaries nodded sagely and said, "That's exactly the situation." So I'm not too far short on my assessment. I don't know that we can say much about drones, other than I hope that the situation is resolved at Gatwick very quickly. They're talking now about trying to shoot them down. And that in itself has got danger, I would have thought, because you try to shoot a drone down, you don't know where it's going to come down. It could come down over a busy shopping centre, or it could come down in the middle of the street. It can come down onto an individual home, one doesn't know. So it's always a very difficult situation if you want to shoot stuff out of the air, particularly over a busy airport or over areas that are urban, that have lots of people there. So it'll be interesting to see how the authorities treat it, and hopefully without loss of life at this stage. There's nobody hurt. It's just people having to wait interminably for their aircraft, for their flights, and that's no fun. Having done it many a time, between 2000 and 2013, my feet never touched the floor. I was in the airports more than I was at home. But getting frustrated by a few hours delay is quite different to what's happening at the moment. So we'll try and stay on top of that and see what's happening. But in other news, well, I walked up. Let's see him for a minute. Well, I don't know. Let's try that and say a Merry Christmas, because I wish that there was a lot to be merry about, but it looks as if we're going to have drama and crisis all over the place, including Gatwick. And it's sad that we should build up to Christmas. It should be a time of merrymaking and families get together and bonhomie and good thoughts. And for so many years of my life, that's exactly what it was. It just seems that in modern life, some crisis crops up, particularly at this time of the year, that takes our eye away from the true meaning of Christmas. I must confess is that I'm not a deeply religious man, but I do go to church, and I'm reading the lesson in St. Michael's in Lewes on Christmas morning, and I'm very pleased to be doing that, because it's my contribution to the service, which is a very nice service on Christmas Day. But then I shall immediately dive into Bloody Marys, and away Christmas Day will go. But all those things make up to a very pleasant day, and if you're sitting in Gatwick, it's not going to be a very happy one at all. But anyway, I really am. My good friend John Henty has made a note in, I think it's Lewes Present, the group on Facebook, to congratulate the merchants on Lewes High Street in all the lights that they have put up. And indeed, the merchants have done a jolly good job. And if you walk past each individual merchant, there's nothing in the street. There's nothing in the overhang. There's nothing that gives you any indication that we're practicing Christmas here or celebrating Christmas here. I mean, there's part of Lewes High Street, and the way it looks now is more or less, give or take the odd merchant that's there, the way it looks most of the year. And it's very disappointing, because I was able to walk up Regent Street and some of the little streets that go off into Jermyn Street and so on at the lower part of Regent Street, and it's just a blaze of light, and it does make people feel much happier. But why on earth we decide to be Grinch-like in Lewes, I have no idea. If, well, I don't know, contradiction in terms, I guess. Because even though there's a blaze of light, and the merchants, and for that matter, the London City Council say that sparkling the city attracts tourists, and therefore they put money into the shops and so on and so forth. So it's a good investment. Well, I don't know whether we don't see it as an investment down here, because we don't do that. But Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, has decided that next year they're going to get the maximum rise in the council tax. So they're paying through the nose for it next year, but nonetheless it is there. The point is, I wonder if we're going to pay through the nose, if the same sort of thing is going to happen in Lewes. Because if it is, keep the lights. If we're going to be miserable paying our taxes, let's be miserable all the year round and forget Christmas. what we could do is we could have a Grinch festival. Now there's an idea, a Grinch festival in Lewis. We do all sorts of other crazy things which amuse us and sometimes amuse our visitors. So why not turn this into the Grinch town? There's a thought. That would set the rest of the country on fire. It's sad that this business of did he mouth that stupid woman or didn't he? Jeremy Corbyn. When I talked about it yesterday, I talked about the time that Speaker Burkow, I always call him Burkhoff because the Eastern European W becomes a V. People say no, he calls himself Burkow. So I said yesterday that it was Burkow that actually mouthed this in the House of Commons, and in fact on that particular occasion it was Corbyn, of course, but Burkow has apparently done it several times, and nobody's got excited except the person that he said it to. Now suddenly in the debate, here we are. He's denying whether he said it or didn't say it or whatever, and there's a big uproar. But the paucity of ability and understanding and knowledge and temperament amongst our politicians is highlighted by the fact, yes, whose fault it is, it's the media's fault. He's gone back, they run out of excuses. Can't say no fertile imagination. It's all the media's fault. Wouldn't you know it? Anything like this is the fallback position. Is it all the fault of the media, Gov? Well, I've been less than kind to my own profession the last little while. I think it has got its troubles, but it's all the fault of the media. It's just, it's one of those laughable things that has carried on through decades. So poor old Corbyn didn't have much in his brain box at the time that he was looking around for some excuse as to why this mess is a mess and why there's such uproar. Incidentally, there's some medical people that have said that we should have a tax on sugar and salt. And that's the way to have a go at some of our health problems. I must confess is that health problems are huge in this country. They cost us a lot of money as taxpayers to fund an NHS. But it's all very well to say let's add another tax. But to me, why not stop giving people free boob jobs? I suppose those women who want to have breast implants and so on and so forth, it's my right, because everything is my right nowadays. But that's costly, and I think that we could put our funds somewhere else. So, no salt, no sugar, no boobs. Oh dear. Now we're putting the customer first. That could have come straight out of Lewis District Council. That's one final note, because I've been pretty scathing about the Evening Standard, but if you look through them, you can find a gem. And somewhere in the United States, there's a chap who's been banged up for illegal hunting, and part of his sentence is he's been given a year for this illegal hunting. He's got to watch Bambi, the film Bambi, once a month throughout the 12 months that he's in prison. And as the commentator said when they're writing, is could you think of anything worse? I suppose if you're 10 it'd be all right, but a grizzled hunter is watching Bambi. The mind boggles. Even I couldn't watch Bambi over Christmas. Sweet little creature though she is. We won't be with you on rants until the beginning of January. A reminder, incidentally, is we're not totally closing, but the railways are. If you want to get from Lewis or anywhere along this coast into London via Victoria, you've had it. The station is going to be totally closed from Christmas Eve until the 2nd of January. So just remember that. So when you trot down to the station, there'll still be trains running, but getting to London on them is going to be a nightmare. So tuck it in the back of your mind. We will be around next week we will have some specials, so keep an eye open for us. But I'm going to get my tonsils back into shape because I'm quite sure there's going to be an awful lot in the new year to rant about. And Mirador Television will be back with a few new things, and I hope that you'll continue to drop in and pop in and enjoy a glass of bubbly with us from time to time. So have a very, very Merry Christmas. I managed to stop the cough almost before we'd finished. And keep an eye open for him. He's my hero. He's certainly going to pop down my chimney, but I hope that perhaps he'll pop down yours as well. And if I'm in the mood, I'll certainly recommend that that's exactly what he does. So until next year, on this program anyway, the egg program, Break an Egg, we'll say have a Merry Christmas and have a very good time, and I hope that it becomes a great family occasion and that it's enjoyable. So, toodle pip.